Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here, and it's another recovery video. As usual, I'm out on my bike ride here, and there's my baby. Okay, so today on the ride up here, I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about. The reason I talk about like this thing, what I'm going to talk about today, being fired and being a dishonest employee because of my addiction. The reason I talk about these things, especially this one right here today, it's not to tell big stories, to try to, I'm not trying to glorify this stuff. The reason I'm talking about this is because I remember going, if some of you haven't been to AA or NA meetings, I remember the first time I started going to these meetings and being in recovery, and I thought I was a freak. Some of the stuff I did, once I was addicted, some of the, horrible, terrible, god-awful things I never told a soul about. As I sat there and listened to everybody talk, the 50 or 60 people in this big group, I realized how this really is a disease and how we all have the same symptoms, the same MO, the same modus operandi, or whatever you want to call it. And none of us are bad people. We're doing this. It's not who we really are. It's the disease of addiction. And you do things that you would never normally do. And it gave me a feeling of brotherhood, of unity. And it made me feel a lot less guilty and terrible about myself. Knowing that it wasn't just me that was a freak and a bad person. Okay, today, when I first started working, I had a lot of jobs throughout I've worked since I was like 14 or 15. I had like 5 paper routes. I went to school for architectural drafting, and I got a job right out, like when I was 21. This is when I was still messing around with different substances, and the housing market went down like in 1989, and I got laid off. And I started messing around with more stuff in like 22, in my 20s. I started dealing to add to my income and to support my addiction. And I got a job driving a truck for a magazine company, a newspaper company. And they delivered back then there was a lot of newspapers and magazines. There was thousands of them. And a lot of them were adult magazines. We had every name, hundreds of adult magazines. And there was a market, for selling them on the side. So that's my dishonesty with companies started to begin. I actually lost this job. It was a great union job. I was getting paid fantastic. I was a Teamster. And one of the only ways you could get fired is if you tested positive on a urine. And every Wednesday, we were supposed to get our paychecks on Thursday, but I would sneak in the boss's office and go through the envelopes and find my check and go cash it early so I could go out Wednesday night. And I would spend like 3/4 of my paycheck. I'd be out all night Wednesday. Every Thursday I'd come in, no sleep, all hungover. And, I knew sooner or later I was going to catch a random drug test. And sure enough, I did. I came in off the road one day and they said, "Oh, Daryl, your number came up." And they knew I was messing up. I don't know if it was really random, but I should have known it was going to happen. I got fired, and then I got 2 weeks severance, and I spent that all in one night with, you can imagine on what. I'm going to watch what I'm saying because I got yellow lighted in my last video, so I'm going to be careful of the substances. You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, now this is where things even got worse when I started getting into the opiate addiction. The next job I got was driving a truck for a hardwood flooring company, driving a flatbed. And this is when Nextel phones first came out. We had Nextel phones in all our cabs. This was in the 1990s, late 1990s. And it got to a point where my addiction was so bad, I'd be out smoking. And I got the idea to sell my phone. You ever see like Intervention or something, or you see people do something so stupid, like on TV, some stupid criminals, and they know they're going to get caught, like people that steal checks and stuff like that. They're on film, they're on camera, they know they're going to get caught, and you're thinking, how could this person be so stupid? They only make like $20, and they're going to, they're committing a felony. It's the stupidest thing. Well, that was me. One night I'm geeking and I'm jonesing and I'm all out of money. So I get the idea to sell my Nextel phone. How can I not get caught? They're gonna, the next day they're gonna wonder where the phone is, and they did. And I ended up getting away with it the first time. Yeah, I did it again. I think I actually did it 3 times before they actually sent the police to my house. So the police show up at my house, and this is what I had done. I had traded it to the dealer. Now the dealer didn't know my name, and I didn't know his. They used to call me Superman. I wasn't going to say this, and it wasn't for a good reason. I'm pretty sure it was for the things I did that didn't end up killing me. It wasn't a compliment. And so they didn't know my name. All right, so the company really wanted to bust me, to arrest me, and they sent the police to my house, and the phone was already gone. It was, I traded it away, so the police didn't find anything. And then they called. There was like 700 numbers called on the phone, so they called everyone. And like, hello, this is, we're the police department. We're doing an investigation. Do you know Daryl P? And not one person did. This phone ended up in like the Bronx and then down in like Piscataway, New Jersey, like the next day or something. And these people had no idea who I was. So, they weren't able to pin it on me. You know what? Maybe it would have been better if they did. Maybe I would have gotten to recovery sooner. I don't know. These things aren't cool. This is embarrassing, doing something so stupid and slimy, and that's the kind of stuff that stays on your record, when you go for other jobs. Luckily now, I'm older and I'm semi-retired, and I have a monetized YouTube channel, and I actually sell money. I make money selling my artwork, so I don't have a boss per se. You guys are my boss, really. But it was embarrassing looking back, the stuff I did, the stupid thing, the ridiculously stupid. I didn't just do it once. I did it 3 times, knowing, I had already gotten caught twice for it. And they were the company was just getting more and more pissed, and I do it a 3rd time. Your logical mind is no longer functioning at that point. The addiction just overrides all your common sense. You have no common sense. All that matters at that moment at night, when I run out of money and run out, all that matters is I will do anything, and I mean freaking anything. Get on my knees and, it sounds terrible saying that, but it's the truth. That feeling, that terrible feeling that comes. If you've never had the Jones, like after messing with rock, it's this god awful feeling where nothing will make you feel better. It's a feeling of torture, of just pure torture. You can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't read, you can't think. All that's in your head is more. I need more right now. I can't breathe. I can't think. I can't see. I can't hear. I need more, and it's just this terrible thing, and it doesn't go away. There's nothing that relieves it. It's a god-awful feeling. And these are the things I try to remember now that I've been clean and sober for 19 years. It'll be 19 years, October 23rd. So, everybody, all of us in addiction have done terrible, terrible things, more than likely. I'm speaking for myself. Like I said, that's the purpose of making this video, is to let you know, if you've never been to an NA or AA meeting and heard other people talk about their misadventures, we all have very similar patterns. It's not just you. You're not a bad person. You just need some help, and recovery is available. All right, hey, I'm going to let you know, I did a commercial, and I'll put the link down below in the video description for Root Recovery. This is the recovery program that saved my life, methadone maintenance, and I just did a commercial for them, and it's on Instagram, it's on LinkedIn, TikTok, and I'll put the links down below. Check it out. Please check it out, and give it a like, not for me, but for them. for the recovery center. They did save my life. It's a great video. It's only 2 minutes long. Check it out. It's down in the video description. Have a good Friday.